As I stood there, unsure about my next move, the high priest made his entrance. Solemn, imposing, slowly walking down the hall. The staff made of solid metal pounding on the marble floor at every step, inducing an hypnotic rhythm that almost stole my sanity away. It was at that point that everyone started kneeling and chanting something. I didn't want to blow my cover, so I followed suit. And although the words were obscure to me, I pretended to sing along, making them believe that I was one of them was our only way to discover if this group of lunatics had some kind of dark secret, something to use against them and stop the spread of their lunacy. The choir was relentless and pervasive. I could feel it vibrating in my bones like some kind of illness taking root at its final stage of aggression. What the hell are they chanting? Suddenly, the stomping stopped, abruptly, and so did the singing. The priest lifted his arms and without turning began speaking. To whom? I don't know, but what he said sent chills down my spine. We gather here in secrecy once more, brothers, to taint the gospel of darkness with yet more blood, to feed the sacred relic yet another soul, to claim another life to join this cursed tabernacle of death. May the sacrifice walk to the altar and accept his life as forfeit. The chanting started yet again. This time, though, it was different. One line of cultists began chanting. After a verse, another line joined, from the beginning of the hymn. And then another one, and then another one. An overwhelming wall of asynchronous voices, generating a spiral of melodies that was making me physically sick. I began sweating, almost hallucinating. No, definitely hallucinating. As now it seemed like the priest who was standing in front of the altar was slowly hovering toward me, and the other cultists kneeling on the ground were slowly sliding around me. But that was simply impossible. It took me a long minute to realize what was happening. They weren't moving. I was. Incredulous, I found myself slowly walking toward the altar. I wasn't controlling my legs. I was passively perceiving my movements, like watching a movie half drunk on the couch. But I was moving, and I was now standing in front of the priest. The hooded figure stood there. From that distance, I could clearly see that his eyes were sewn together, shut in eternal darkness. Yet, he was staring at me, directly into my soul. I wanted to scream, but all I could hear was the bloody chanting, permeating the air like an infectious cloud of toxic fumes. Then the priest took a long knife, slid it to my arm, and with a black chalice collected the blood oozing from my veins. Once the bowl was filled to the brim, he took a sip, sliced his arm, and added some of his blood. He passed the chalice around, and each and every one of the adepts did the same, until eventually it was given back to me. I couldn't move, I couldn't think. The choir was all I could hear. But like in a feverish dream, I saw my arms lift up and grab hold of the blood-filled container and bring it to my mouth. The viscous liquid went down my throat without resistance. And the more I drank, the more I wanted to drink. My vision got blurry, my breath slowed down, more and more, and I could feel my soul getting grim and darker than ever. I was about to collapse when, with a swift gesture, the priest planted the knife straight into my chest. At the same time, every single cultist collapsed on the ground, like inanimate objects made of meat and bones. The priest began bleeding from his empty eye sockets, eyelids stitched crudely together. He whispered something before dropping on the ground as well. The chanting didn't stop though, 'cause now it was coming from me. I was singing with many voices as my body slowly began to lift from the ground in a room painted by night itself. Darkness, liberate me from the shackles of God. May this obscure path bring forth the end of all things. May this infamous light shine no more. Tenebris.